pick.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's Star Ladder Season 12, and we are in the China Division looking for some extra China action to happen here. It's LGD Gaming taking on TongFu in our second best of 3 of the day. And we saw earlier VG Gaming look pretty dominant as they were able to 2-0 in their series. We'll see if LGD, one of the other teams that are the favorites coming out of the Chinese Shuffle, to do the same. But they got a challenge at hand. It's going to be the TongFu Club. They're going to try to make them really sweat for it. Bringing you the coverage is myself, KotLGuy, for Beyond the Summit. But I'm not going at it alone. I got joining me remotely, a good friend, Basskip. I asked if you were here. Are you here, buddy? How's it going?
Oh, doing great. I'm excited.
Oh, sorry.
Have you unmuted me?
Well, the mixer, the Windows mixer, it just is stuck looking like mute, even though when I touch it, it does actually unmute. So I'm like, is it muted or not? It was not. So, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to this series. This could actually be the last match that matters in this group. If LGD win, then they advance. If they lose, then TongFu could actually be the ones to make it through. With IG already 3-0, the remaining 3 teams have to kind of scrap it out. So
yeah,
this is a big match for both teams here. TongFu got to stay alive, and then they have to beat eHome, and LGD just want to get out of this group right now.
Yeah, I feel like we're a broken record when we say that. Oh, this match matters, but with the way they've done it, it does. It just matters that much. When each group has one dominant force that seems to be kind of sweeping through, the other 3 squads really need to battle it out between each other to try to claim that second spot, because after this group stage run, which I'm going to show it up again because in case anyone who just happened to stop by now, you can get an idea of these groups right now. In Group A, IG, LGD, TongFu, and eHome. So we're doing Group A action right now. In Group A, we got Newbie, Hyperglory Team, DK, and VG. So, well, after this, only the top 2 teams move into a double elimination 4-team bracket, and then the top 2 will qualify to go to the actual Star Ladder final event. So kind of a big deal. Hopefully the teams will be able to make it this time. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. But here we go. So talking about the actual draft at hand, LGD opened up with a 1-2 punch of Axe and Queen of Pain on TongFu. They grab up the Clockwork and Sniper side by side, and now their third pick, it's going to be a Disgusting Viper.
So very different draft from what we saw in the previous series. Lots of cores picked up to begin with. I mean, LGD could be greedy and have a 4-position Axe potentially, but it's not really been the trend recently. So it looks like both teams showing a lot of their initial strategy, and just going to have to fill in the gaps with a couple of supports, but still plenty of great supports remaining in the pool. Just the Venge, the Ancient Apparition, and the Silencer banned out. So, Witch Doctor, the preference for LGD. TongFu could still grab themselves a Lion or whatever else they feel like they want.
Yeah, Lion was the candidate I was going to say as well. So there's definitely still plenty of options, but for this scene, it's Silencer. It's just, I laugh every time. They got to make sure you get rid of it. And, I mean, it's absolutely justified. They could be looking to build in some bigger team fight impact. And, one press of the R button from someone like a Silencer can be the rain on your parade. You don't want that happening here. But they already have a good frontline initiator with Clockwork. Viper, the dirty dog that he is going to look to kind of handle Axe and make sure he can kind of be the person to kind of run down any sort of weaker opponents. And they're going to go greedy with their first support. So very greedy 4-man here for TongFu so far. And that they're going to run with the jungle lineup here. So LGD, they probably will acknowledge this and look for the early movement from their side to kind of make sure Enigma doesn't have too easy of a time. And maybe look to punish them as they're only going to be expecting dual lane setup at most.
Yeah, the Silencer ban makes a little bit more sense in the context of the Enigma pickup as well, because there's nothing just yet from LGD to be able to stop a BKB black hole reliably. I mean, you can maybe say Axe Call, but you have to have some pretty fancy footwork to get around the edge of the black hole and still be able to call Enigma. So what else do they have as far as options go for that? There's still something like a Lich in the pool, but he's not looking all that appealing. I guess there is a Rubik as well. It's pretty decent against Clockwork, so we could get some black holes and counter black holes going back the other way.
Oh yeah, that would be something special. I love seeing heroes like Enigma come into play because you know that there's a chance that you're in for a really special treat and maybe a potential highlight worthy moment here. But LGD, they don't want to have any of that. They want to have a way to make sure this Enigma doesn't get it. And I like that you bring up the Lich, and I feel like we don't see much of that anymore. I feel like Enigma is still pretty much in the limelight for supports. I mean, we see other teams even experimenting or at least putting him in the offlane position. But Lich is one of those that regardless of BKB or not, he'll have your number. The only other one to kind of be able to do that, Vengeful Spirit's the more popular option that can kind of handle that. But look at this, Naga Siren for LGD Gaming. Remaining. Haven't seen Naga play in quite a while. That was all the rage a patch or so ago, but there she is.
Yeah, this could still even be a support, honestly. We haven't seen a whole lot of support Naga, but you've got a net potentially to cancel a black hole, or Song of the Siren, obviously a really, really nice counter initiation tool. The change to Axe with Yules and the invulnerability with Call, I believe, also affects Song of the Siren, so they can't do what used to be possible, which was song everybody, run up, call, and then even after the call, remove the song, and the call would still go through. I think now you actually have to get the timing down, which does make that interaction a little bit weaker, but still very good setup for Axe to get in and get his job done. And LGD, we were just talking about the Lion, and that is going to be the ban out from them. So TongFu are going to have to find something else for their 5 position here.
Yeah, this is going to be a really selfless position. I mean, with what they've already got lined up, everyone here needs something to kind of take it to the next level. They need someone who can be selfless as ever, and it's going to be the Treon Protector. All right, we don't get to see this hero very often unless it's in some sort of funky, fresh, synergetic lineup with like a Phoenix, so you can have that extra presence in lockdown. And then the other time we've seen it is in the hands of, I believe it was Asus Polar, where FNG did a core farming Treon Protector. We went right for the Ags. That was something special. Yeah, tons of vision on the map. I tried it out once, and it went into like an 85-minute game because I was a tree and we had a techies on my team. But you put down those eyes. God. Yeah, it was a nightmare. I was like, we're in for the long one. That was my first Dota game of the day. So I'm like, if I'm not winning this, I'm done with Dota today. But luckily, we did end up winning. But once you get those eyes down in your opponent's jungle on the camps, you get free gold like it's nothing. You just hit the R button for any regular fight, and you're also raking in all this sweet extra gold that's out there on the map. So that's just something fun that most teams don't take advantage of. And while seeing where it is right now, this is definitely a selfless role. So Agnums is only a luxurious dream, I would imagine, but we'll see if it ends up happening.
And meanwhile, for LGD, I guess we're now about to find out if this is going to be your support Naga Siren. The one thing to say for the Treon Protector is that of the melee supports, he's probably the best at dealing with Axe, because if somebody else on your lane gets jumped, you just throw down the Leech Seed on top of Axe and help counteract a lot of the spin damage and open up a little bit of space. But okay, LGD rounded out with a Wisp, so it is in fact the Sylar Naga Siren, which I think they actually ran a little bit earlier today over in their D2CL series. There's been a lot of Chinese Dota going on today, actually. Yes,
lots of action, all running parallel with each other. We've had the last couple of days, of course, the Star Ladder China and Star Ladder C happening side by side, and now, D2CL. I unfortunately haven't been able to catch much of those games because they happen at the same time. So this is actually going to be my first chance to cast TongFu since like DAC or anything of that nature. So it's been quite a while. They were the team, I believe it was going into DAC that actually were a bit surprising, and then they ended up falling off a little bit. So they're looking to fight back, though. And going back to the final pick here for LGD, I'd love to see a stat. I feel like never is Wisp pick up as a 5th pick. It's just like, nope, there's Wisp. It's either you're sneaking him in early into the draft because somehow the team forgot about banning and picking it, or you sneaking him maybe into the middle of the draft so you can take advantage of your 2 quick picks. But as a 5th pick, and with a lineup that you don't typically see your common Wisp, ragtag duo, that's got to be few and far between. And I'll let you take a moment to have the floor. I'm going to do a quick reconnect here because I got slideshow Dota happening here.
Yeah, no problem. Hopefully sort that out with one quick reconnect. The Wisp pick does strike me as a little bit odd because you don't have a really clear partner. It does work pretty well with Axe for the extra survivability say, and it looks like at the moment MMY's priority is just going to be picking up a fast bottle. I don't know if he's going to be heading down towards the bottom lane to join the Axe along with the Witch Doctor, and they're just going to be running at this lane to try and exploit the fact that TongFu have picked up this Enigma, and the fact that he needs to be over in the jungle, so that does seem like it's probably the likely option, and that does mean that they have a ton of diving potential. They can turn on the heal, Axe can be at the front, Wisp is feeding him health the entire time, and Yao is going to be a very difficult guy to bring down.
All right, here's LGD. They want to bully back TongFu. Don't even think about coming towards this rune, buddy. This is ours. This is ours. It looks like they, want to secure it for MMY so they can do a bottle rush. Very important for your Wisp. And MMY, he played a lot of that Wisp during DAC. I remember back when the Blink was still a factor, and he would always take advantage of the long tether. I don't want to call it abuse, but it was available in the game, and while it was, he was happy to use it. But for now, they kind of took away that bit of flavor, and hopefully MMY knows that. So we'll see as the lanes will develop, and some early harassment onto King J here and his Enigma. They really want to make sure he doesn't have an easy time, so they're going to get up in his face. But I'll lead off some roster introductions for LGD, who are still up in arms right here. Actually, look at this. Coming in now, it's going to be LPC with the lead seed. Lots of damage onto your Wisp. MMY is forced to step back, but a nicely timed coconut going to be thrown out there from Zhao 8, the director, if you will. Recently stepped away from Newbie and is now a part of the LGD squad. They found hot and cold success so far here in Star Ladder. Also for LGD, we got Yao, who's already starting with some early creep cutting here on the bottom lane on his Axe. Mid lane, it's Sylar playing the Naga. And top lane, that will leave Maybe playing your Queen of Pain.
Unfortunately for TongFu, their supports are very inactive in the early game, so there's very little that they can do about the fact that this aggressive tri-lane is down here and up in their face. U9, as the Viper, can throw down some harassment and try and keep Yao back a little bit, but again, there's a ton of sustain between the Wisp and the Witch Doctor. And then as far as the other lanes go, you've got a Queen of Pain against a solo melee hero, so that should be great for Maybe. And the mid lane, well, it's Naga Siren against Sniper. Sniper expected to have a little bit of a lead, but Sylar is actually just straight up winning the CS war right now. 6-1 against 2-2.
That is pretty surprising to see. Sniper's typically one of the best as far as early CS, the way he can just kind of peep out that quick last hit in there. But yeah, he's kind of having a bit of a difficult time. I guess you don't get a lot of practice going against a Naga mid lane as a sniper. Nowadays, it's all about, you're countering their Shadow Feed, maybe kind of dealing with a TA or Queen of Pain. But Naga, you don't come around very often. But he'll get in some pot shots for now. But the big thing is LGD are really being a pain in the ass to King J. Just keep like this. Don't even. What are you trying to do here? You're level 1. We're not going to let you get an easy level 2. And Zhao Weight's going to do all he can to kind of make sure he feels not safe.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, the lanes are just so weak, especially with this tree pickup. There's very little that Tree Protector can do on the map at this stage, and Viper already eating a battle hunger under his tower. Needs to get this last hit to get rid of the damn thing. Okay, there you go.
This feels like right now LGD taking advantage of a weak early game for TongFu. The way they built up a very greedy kind of lineup and then went with a jungling Enigma. And like you said, they just don't offer a lot of threats early on to LGD. So they feel like they could take total control here on the bottom. We were already saying how Sylar was getting the upper hand in CS in mid lane. Along the top, which is a lane we kind of ignored a little bit here, Maybe on the Queen of Pain is your top CS at 17 and 10, and your off-lane setup, it's your Clockwork, who's currently sitting at 7 and 1. So in my book, that means LGD are currently winning all 3 lanes.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think TongFu misstepped the draft a little bit when they went for the Enigma. Had they, for example, taken Lion in place of the Enigma, so taken Lion 4th and then left Enigma to 5th if he was still up, that would have been great. U9, more Spirit harassment, forced to throw out the Living Armor, but that's just going to get chewed through by the Battle Hunger. So
yeah, and level 1 Living Armor is not as good as it used to be. It's got a much longer cooldown, and now they know that he doesn't have it. They're going to jump right onto him. LPC is in trouble. That's a death right there. Battle Hunger, or at least the auto attack, is going to get it done. Zhao 8 is going to pick up the first blood here for LGD, who do strike first.
Yeah, somewhat unique build from Yao this game. Actually, just 1 point counter helix, 2 points in the Battle Hunger at level 3, but really making it work, keeping the heroes pinned under the tower. And just a nice little adjustment to see from Yao.
This is just total control, and he knows he can get away with doing this Battle Hunger kind of a build. He's like, I don't even need the call. I'm just going to... I mean, they have this aggressive ward on the ground. They see anyone show up. He's just going to keep throwing it out there while he's got it. I mean, if you're going to be leveling up Battle Hunger, it's better to do it early when it's most effective. So he's going to go fully into that one. Now, regen is going to be picked up from King J, but he's kind of locked into a corner, so he's actually forced to TP back to the mid lane. Now, he's going to try to make a bit of a recovery here after he was harassed a bit at the start. He has currently got a soul ring, but level 3 at 4 minutes in is definitely a bit behind your jungling Enigma quota.
And he has hardly any available plays. Sometimes when you're behind this Enigma, your camps are blocked. You can get to level 4, you can put 2 points in Malefice, and you can go for a smoke gank with boots and a smoke. But this game, he can't really. Maybe is very difficult to gank. Sylar is very difficult to gank, and bottom lane has 3 heroes in it. So I don't know what he's going to do. I guess he just has to sit back and continue trying to farm up.
Yeah. Tree is just set to be the babysitter here for Viper, who's trying his best to work with the creeps as close as they are to the tower and trying to fight some last hits. And he still has his head, or at least he's still a bit frustrated right now with this Battle Hunger as he continues to work on through it. Sylar hasn't leveled up the sleep yet, so I was curious to say, like, yeah, it's going to be hard to gank him because he's probably level 6 and probably has the Song of the Siren to get out of there just in case, but hasn't really even found it necessary, seeing as that everyone else is pretty busy and occupied with how to deal with their lane setup. And then maybe as well is going to have to be someone to look out for. I mean, they're having a hard enough time as it is. He's level 6, nearly level 7. This Queen of Pain could look to make some action happen here very soon.
Yeah, he's definitely got potential kills on Sniper. Even Viper, for all of his, he's considered a fairly durable hero just because of how he builds and because of corrosive skin. But with your shiny new pure damage Sonic Wave, that's going to slice right through U9 once maybe starts wandering around and finding kills. So this Queen of Pain pick is actually really well positioned this game, especially with the only really punishing things to deal with are ultimates, and you can kind of play around them to an extent if you're maybe here.
Yeah, I feel like it's just going to be LGD who are going to get away scot-free with what they want, and it's going to force TongFu to be kind of curled up into a ball sooner than later. But I don't want to speak too soon here. It is a promising head start for LGD, but it's certainly not over yet, as now you can see XinQ move forward, get the kill on the Sylar, and just like that, there's a suddenly a big turnaround as Sniper's going to be able to take advantage in the mid lane now. Solid grab for him, and well, unfortunately for Sylar, without that level in the Song of the Siren, there's nothing he can do when he gets caught in that much slow.
Not enough respect for the shrapnel, and I think XinQ doing a good job as well of not just using it for harassment, but saving up a couple of charges to go for that kill, and does end up finding it. So also some nice farm as a reward, completely uncontested. Jump in bot lane. Yeah,
first hook shot of the game. It does catch him, but quickly a tether out from Y. But now no more mana. Clockwork can't really contribute a whole lot outside this battery itself, but there is a call. Connects on 2. Here come out the spin. Sylar shows up as well to get in on the action. And Tree's going to walk on forward. Dishes out the leech seed. No one goes down yet, though. U9's very low. Does get chopped right there. Assassinative flyouts. Blows up MMY. And Yao, who's going to get caught in the middle, will go down thereafter. XinQ is here, and he's ready to kind of pop off these shots. Triple kill for him as he continues moving on forward. Is the slow there. He pots him, and now the Song of the Siren will be leveled up. Uses it to get away, or does not. They look to turn it back. Queen of Pain's here, and they blast him down with the Scream, and they'll get a twofer here onto LPC. Maybe with the double, things go from a bit quiet to suddenly a bloodbath here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, the only reason that maybe wasn't down there a little bit earlier is because he actually killed the Enigma top. I think otherwise he would have been right down there, dropped the Sonic Wave on multiple heroes, and the fight would have been much more LGD favored, but yeah, still end up cleaning up pretty nicely, and maybe's farm is just continuing to get further and further out of control. The Sniper does have something to show for himself, however, so that's always nice for XinQ here.
Yeah, he gets that kill on Sylar mid lane. The triple might get another here on the Sylar. Sylar has no song or nothing, and well, oh, still alive and well. Clockwork gonna get the rocket off. Rocket must be too low of a level. It's only level 2 here. Sylar's actually gonna be able to slither away. Okay. Very weak and wounded, but Man, yeah, I feel like Sylar may be lacking a lot of respect for this sniper here in this mid lane, and well, at the same moment, bottom lane, big dive behind the tower to get the finish onto U9 and the Viper. Maybe sneaking away with another one. 3-0 for this Queen of Pain.
Yeah, Sylar not respecting the sniper enough, and then also not respecting him enough to go back to base. Actually tried to go for the bounty rune that was sitting up top, but yeah, does manage to get away in the end. Xbingo in a little bit of an awkward position. There is the axe just nearby. I don't think Xiaowei knows quite how close he is.
Aha, hello, how are you doing? Yeah, just comes out from the dark, pops the cogs, pops the battery assault, will get the kill. Maldic goes on to him, and MMY shows up, trying to do a little bit of early damage onto him. That Maldic is only level 1, so it's not going to be lingering with too much dot damage. But hey, that was a nice little spot to plant himself to be a quick surprise there for Xiaowei. Caught him off guard, and he gets to walk away with a little bit of extra bounty. Oh, and at that same moment, Queen of Pain gets a big kill once again. Bottom lane as he takes out the tree. Looks like maybe is getting ready to start that snowball period sooner than later.
Dire's middle tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
he got the sting down on the tree and dropped him pretty low, and then shot at the Sonic Wave expecting it to kill, but there was still another Leech Seed heal coming in, and it kept the tree alive, so he actually had to blink back in and finish him off. So doesn't get all of the style points, but still finds the kill. And well, with the smoke from Xiao, it looks like they're just gonna keep him active, keep him moving, and continue to try and find kills. They want to put a stop to this pesky sniper before he gets too much bigger.
Oh, and they might get that chance. He's right there. Jump in. Shadow Strike. Scream. Maldic going to be popped. Trying to get off one last shot. Does on the maybe. And now the black hole. Going to lock him in place. Hook shot comes in. And they make it a trade of a 2-for-1. Nice rotation. And the first black hole of the game is going to be successful. They lose their sniper, but it's a worth it trade for now. And all they really want to do on the side of LGD is find kind of pickoffs like this so that they can continue to create space for Sylar, but it doesn't work out too well if you end up losing everyone who goes on this convoy mission.
Yeah, the only question for TongFu is what really is their timing? I think Viper can scale decently into the late game, but he's not a very good farmer. So you know they've kind of got that playing against them. If you look at the lineup, I think in isolation, it's kind of... It is fairly aggressive. It's Enigma, Clock, Viper looking to get things done, but oh yeah, in trouble top.
Yep, he's taking a lot of shots. Tree's able to get close enough for the Leech Seed, and he's done for. Now the Overgrowth comes out, and they're going to get the Wisp as well. Maybe's there last. Now could be trapped, but the Death Ward from the outside of the cog slowly withers away. The Clockwork as he will crumble down. So ends up being a 1-for-2. Still another fight where TongFu do inch out on top. Suddenly the game is even 10-10 as far as net worth goes. It's still just a slight advantage for LGD, only about 1,500. But TongFu, it looked like a pretty hard start. You remember that bottom lane axe just kind of going unmerciful behind the tower. Mid lane was getting hit pretty hard. Queen of Pain had been bringing in a lot of big kills, but suddenly we're back even. As top lane, they want to try to take down this tier 1, and Treon Protector wants nothing of it. He's going to continue to use that level 4 limbing armor to heal up these tier 1s if he can.
Yeah, Sniper getting really active this game, but almost every single time he takes the opportunity to head out and try and get something done, he's actually finding kills. So really nice movement around the map, I think, from Xin-Q so far. The Sylar still just pretty quietly farming away, but he is getting pretty close towards his relic at the very least, and they've got some more space creation tools at the ready. Yao has his blink dagger and a smoke in his inventory. MMY has also got that relocate at the ready, so if they jump in on any lane, they can also bring additional heroes to bear very, very quickly.
And I'm curious who they'll want to take with them. I guess he has plenty of options. A quick relocate and setup from Yao even on the outside, and a quick blink in call could set up something nice. Queen of Pain would work out as well. So I'm curious to see if they're going to be looking to use this relocate for quick pickoffs now, or if they're going to reserve it more for in case as a backup plan to get the hell out in case things get a bit too hairy. So we'll see how that goes. And I want to just go back a couple of subjects there going on about Viper as far as where they're going to peak and how he's going to be able to farm up. I was really curious between him and the Enigma, like who's even going to be the mech candidate. It looks like Viper's going to do it. So now your Enigma gets a Midas. He's going to be going extra greedy here. And it feels like with that kind of a gesture, TongFu are putting a lot behind the presence of this Enigma in the fights.
Yeah, if KotLGuy can farm up a couple of items, they have, LGD didn't necessarily solve the problem of canceling a black hole. Xpingo actually going to scout this gank, and he has himself an Invis rune as well, so looks like Yao and Xiaowei going to be unsuccessful and may even be caught. There's TongFu heroes rotating across right now.
Oh man, they are being stalked. Hello, how's it going? Not the first time. So Gen Bingo was able to surprise him with the cogs. He's going for it again. Force out from Xiaowei, not going to save him. The axe goes down as well, but here comes the relocate. MMY, maybe it's just too late. Then Queen of Pain says, sorry, MMY, I gotta go. Blinks out and away, and they immediately lose 3. TongFu on the return. This is like, what, 3 or 4 straight fights where they have been able to get the best. And this all started from LGD just trying to find a way to smoke in, but I guess the convenience there of the clockwork with the invisibility rune just works out beautifully for TongFu.
The biggest problem for LGD has just been the fact that TongFu are actually so pressured that all 5 of them are in their jungle or close by. So as soon as you're in that part of the map, then it's very, very easy for TongFu to just bring people across and find these favorable numbers. And Sylar is not really ready to participate at all. So at the very best, LGD kind of get
big jumping from Yao, and now the Sonic Wave flies thereafter. Death Ward goes down, but the Assassinate finishes off Xiaowei. And now they retreat out to the southeast side, it looks like here. Maybe dishes out the screen, but gets caught from the hook shot. U9 gets that pick. Another big fight for TongFu as they take down 3 of LGD, and they lose no one. Now 16 to 10. They continue to spike. Now Sylar, the one who's not been getting too involved, could be in trouble. Has Song. Can he get it off? Will be able to get it off. That was scary for a moment. Those little headshots coming out from Sniper could have forced him to be in a bit of a pickle, but he makes it out.
Yeah, and he does have his relic as well, so as much as the last couple of minutes have been pretty disastrous for LGD, they are going to have that pretty soon. But there's a lot of farm over in the hands of TongFu. They've got that mech completed on U9, which we just saw put in a lot of work in both of the previous 2 fights. Clockwork even, after his terrible start laning against the Queen of Pain, has put in so much work. He's 3-2-9. He's, in fact, almost got his Blade Mail complete, and he's importantly level 11. So really getting active and really getting things done. And as I say that...
Yep, he continues to impress as he lands another marvelous hook right behind the tower. And you know what? He has had Xiaowei's number all game long. Either it's coming out from the trees and catching him there, jumping in again, keeps stopping him from time and time again. I'm sure that's gotten Xiaowei a bit frustrated. Hey, TongFu continue to profit. Now they take down the tier 1, following up a kill with an objective. But yeah, like you said, as successful as it's been so far in this early mid-game period for TongFu, it's LGD with the Naga. That dirty Naga. We haven't seen it in a while, but this Radiance comes online, then you start bringing the Boots of Travel, and then you really have your hands full. So we'll see if LGD will get to that pinnacle point where this Naga can reach critical mass, or if TongFu will have an answer for it. I don't think I've yet seen like a critical mass sniper going against a critical mass Naga, but I'd have to imagine that Naga is still the queen of the late game.
Yeah, Sniper can build up decently to deal with it. Stuff like Maelstrom, Mjolnir, definitely viable on him, but yeah, Naga Siren just so difficult to deal with when she's got her full repertoire of split push items up.
We'll see here as maybe jumps across the lane. Has that Orchid now. And, well, they're probably going to want to touch base here with Roche soon. But as far as who has more of the map control, just based on the vision alone, it does feel like LGD are a little bit in the dark. TongFu have been feeling a little bit, more comfortable. They even have this nice aggressive ward up inside the LGD side. They can see the movement of Naga. And if anyone's trying to make a transition from mid lane to top lane, because I'm sure TongFu would love to also take down this top tier 1, removing that little access point and opens up the jungle for them to be a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, TongFu have actually really started to make inroads towards the LGD side of the map. That does split them up a little bit more. That is something that they need to be careful of. A lot of these fights have just been going really well because of numbers, and I think you do still have to respect the power of the LGD pickoff. But all of these wards that they've got down mean that they do have a pretty good idea of what LGD are up to at any given time.
So Sniper and Viper They help taking up the top tier 1 and bottom lane. See LGD just trying to add some pressure there. This is feeling like after LGD have a very aggressive brute force kind of a pattern as far as where they want to take the fights in the early game. Feels like they've decided to pump the brakes a bit for everyone else. You know, they felt like they've maybe allowed Sylar to get to a point where she can comfortably farm up, but this is always the other side of the coin I like to see. When Naga gets to this period where she can really farm up so fast, it almost is like she's taking all of the farm. I kind of worry a bit for LGD and their supports as far as being able to catch up to her level. But they make a jump, catching out that Naga. That's that ward already going to work. And she's doing that dance of death where you're like, I wanna sing. But you can't because the battery assault just says STFU. I don't know. She can't do anything about it. Ends up getting dropped. Uh-oh, relocate. Where are we going, buddy? To the bottom lane, where they show up, making a go for U9, but the rotation's coming from the other side as well. Will they finish off the Viper? They will. Will they get away with it? I don't think so.
No.
Big overgrowth catches on 4. And now it's the sniper cleaning up. Triple kill for him, finishing up with an emphatic assassinate there. Oh, man. Great counterfights continue to come out from TongFu.
Viper is probably the hardest hero to go on at this stage for LGD. They thought they could get in, get the dunk, and I think that's the other big thing. They didn't finish off the Viper with the dunk there. If they get the extra move speed, they can potentially kite a little bit further away. Maybe, you know, some other heroes survived, though. LPC did drop a really nice overgrowth there to keep everyone locked inside the shrapnel, and, well, Sniper loves a captive audience, so very easy kills for him.
That's the thing, man. With the lineup they do got, they have the makings for some pretty impressive, mild wombo combo, but huge team fight. Black Hole Overgrowth just kind of locks them there, and Sniper is just ho-ho-ha on his way to a triple kill, ultra kill, whatever. It's a beautiful thing to look at, so LGD better be prepared for something like that.
Yeah, and it looks like LGD just completely kind of switching over into split push and Pickoff. They've got a Shadow Blade picked up on their Queen of Pain, so maybe it's just trying to find individual heroes kind of wandering off on their own and keep grabbing those kills. They still have tons of room to grow on the Naga, and looks like LGD are going to be spending a little bit more time just camping around Sylar and kind of keeping him safe for the time being. No one really has the gold to invest in sentries at the moment. I get the feeling that Xiao might be trying to save up for a gem right now, and so he doesn't want to spend sentries on dewarding the wards that he does know are over in his jungle, because they did get that kill on Sylar a little bit earlier. But TongFu with the big smoke.
Yep, moving on in. Naga Illusions as they make the jump way up and ahead, and before I can even get the camera there, with that long reach in, they take out Xiao Wei just immediately. So if he was hoping to save for a gem, well, he is going to have to wait a little bit longer, unfortunately. So TongFu with the aggressive movement. I mean, all game long, we've seen LGD come up short in those kind of very same smoke ganks, where at least TongFu finds a good counterfight and walks away with, you know, the bigger victory. LGD, it's not working out the same, and I don't mean to call anyone out right now, but Yao's axe has been very quiet. 0, 5, and 4. It doesn't feel like he's much of a threat, and though he got a really nicely timed Blink Dagger, I haven't seen much development thereafter.
Yeah, the laning phase went really, really well, but now he's 0 and 5, and just feels like every single time they tried to go and get something done, TongFu had the numbers and just turned things around really nicely. King J is extremely farmed. He's got 3k gold on top of his Blink Dagger, so he's definitely got the makings of a very good game here, and it's just LGD got to continue split pushing. This is where Sylar has to pull out all of the little Naga tricks. He's got to be intercepting creep waves, keeping TongFu on their side of the map, trying to steal as much farm as he can with the mirror images. It's all important. And, well, Clockwork just seems to have infinite invis runes, so
this is ridiculous. S4 Lord over here, and woo, thankful save from MMY, and man, oh man, this Clockwork, and as you said before, might have struggled in the laning phase, but he is certainly making up for it. He is finding the fights to take in great pickoffs, and if it wasn't for that relocate, that Naga would have been dead. So very thankful for MMY, and I was questioning if they were going to be able to use the relocate more aggressively, and it's apparent that they might need to reserve it for situations like that. So Able to walk away, touching base with Sylar, that thankfully didn't die. Got the boots, got the radiance, 1,500 gold, just kind of going through that cookie cutter of a build for your Naga, probably wagering a reliable Yasha into a soon-to-be, Manta style Heart thereafter. We'll have to see where he decides to go from here.
This is so cool from TongFu. So one, they picked up a gem on their Train Protector, so he is now their... he's now the D-Ward bot. He's going to be able to keep moving around and maintaining control over their side of the map, so they feel a little bit safer farming. They've also seen this Shadow Blade on the Queen of Pain, so that's the other big reason to have it. And also making use of the Nature's Guides. I think this is the one, big thing that even back... So we had a big period of lots of Train Protector play, and then we had a couple of people start to bring it back, like PPD and others. And the big feature from their Train Protector was always moving around with the Nature's Guys, scouting the opponents, finding opportunities, just being a general nuisance, and just, plays into how important vision is in Dota. But it's exactly what LPC is up to right now.
I certainly agree. He's a great hero for bringing in that kind of intel. Once you start leveling up Nature's Guys to like 3, 4, it feels like it really lasts forever. 45 seconds at level 3, you get a full minute out of it. It, costs, not that much mana, 60. So you feel like you pretty much always have it at the ready, almost perma-invis, and the extra move speed certainly doesn't hurt. So he's really looking to get the mileage out of it. Top lane maybe just continues to split push. He is just abusing the hell out of that Scream just to make sure he can clear out the waves as soon as possible. Trying to force TongFu to be spread from one side all the way to the other, so they can't really commit to try and break through the rest of the tier 2 towers. This is creating more time for them to stall for good old Sylar on the Naga.
Yeah, I mean, they have to ult him if they want to kill him. He either has to get hold, or he has to get overgrowth, or somehow Zexbingo has to jump in with a hook shot and then even potentially bounce him with the cogs afterwards. So this is a game where maybe he can move around freely, and it's really reflecting in the farm. He's not really afraid to go anywhere, and he is top on net worth as a result. He also had a great start, which definitely helps.
So now, as you can see, TongFu are up in arms with these pesky illusions that are going to force the creep waves to stay on their side of the river. You could just feel the plague begin to spread from this Naga. And TongFu, I wonder if they're going to be forced to kind of keep their eyes on the clock and try to, keep the pressure up. I mean, I don't know if they can really afford to stall this game out. Sniper has a nice arsenal of an inventory. This guy's Mask of Madness, already finished the SMY, now going into the Maelstrom Mjolnir kind of a thing. So he's got plenty of, and I like that idea of going the Maelstrom kind of a decision there. You need to clear out these waves and help bring down those illusions. So I think a good choice, and the damage and attack speed is great as well. So Jingu trying to get the best out of his sniper play. Yeah,
it serves two purposes for sure. He's also picked himself up a Blink Dagger so that he can, one, it's decent. He might be able to blink away if he gets songed, and LGD don't quite manage to time things perfectly, so that's a good way to escape from LGD's, one of LGD's big sources of initiation. The other thing is that we've talked about in this game how great a team fight can go if TongFu have their front line consisting of Clock and Viper and Enigma and Tree, just making space for the sniper. But for that to happen, he has to survive, he has to be able to sit and right-click, and the blink means that he can start the fight forever away, completely in the fog, completely safe, and then as soon as those big spells start coming out, he can jump into position and do what he needs to do. So I like this Blink Dagger pickup quite a bit. It's also a little bit of a farming item, move between camps faster, so also nice for that.
Yeah, probably one of the more... The most delicate heroes you can get as well. He's ugly, everyone hates him, but you got to make sure he's in the right position, because if someone gets a hold of him, he's going to get squished. So, very bold move from him. And it's going on these item choices here. King J looks like he's going for a sheep stick on your Enigma. Don't see that very often, but I guess he deems it possibly necessary. Other than that, maybe a Lincoln Sphere.
I think it's Hex.
Yeah, sheep stick. So,
gotta kill the Quap.
Yeah, it's all for the Quap, you believe? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think so. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not too bad against Axe. Another way to cancel Death Ward, not too bad, though. Shawade is the hard 5, so it's not really getting too much. But yeah, I think it's primarily just having a way to catch out maybe split pushing without having to invest the black hole necessarily.
Yeah, Zhao Wei did go for that Force Staff. It would be quite a while before he got Magnum Scepter. The Force Staff is justified, though, going against the Clockwork. You need one of your supports to pick it up, and a Wisp isn't really the Force Staff kind of a person. He's got to, looks like, try to finish out a mechanism. So he's falling behind a little bit there, but, this is one of those kind of games where it's hard to be a support because Naga pretty much takes everything. So you're going to have to just kind of wait it out, hope that when you start breaking through those objectives, get those tier 2s down, take a Roche or so, he benefits from that, and he can get this mech completed.
Bottom lane, U9, already being jumped.
Yeah, there it is. Zhao Wei gets the ward down, but the Overgrowth stops it thereafter, but LPC
their
will
gem
go down. So that's your gem on the deck, and that's a nice twofer for LGD. It's been very quiet from both teams for quite a while there, but it's LGD who managed to kind of cease the silence and come out big bottom lane.
The map's really dark at the moment because TongFu had their gem, as said, and Zhao Wei did end up buying the gem that he was working towards, and he's actually put it over on the Naga sign, so they've got True Sight illusions roving out around the map all the time, making it pretty difficult to establish wards, and that kind of thing happens. You eventually take a gamble, you think, oh, they're going to be going for another lane, they'll be pressuring the tier 1 mid, and not looking for a spot, but you get caught, and when the map is this dark, pickoffs are going to happen, but this time around, it is LGD favored.
Yeah, they got to quickly get the most use they can out of this gem, get some wards back on the ground so they can see. He actually walked by a ward there because he didn't have the gem on hand at the time. Who actually took the gem? Okay, it's Sylar. So Sylar's got it. They're scouting out right now.
So,
go ahead.
So he has Zhao Wei's gem, and they have the other gem in base.
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
So they stole TongFu's gem as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, very good for them. So TongFu could end up in the dark pretty fast, and it's not a good time to be in the dark because Roche is going to look more and more appetizing for both of these teams, and now it's looking pretty good for LGD. If they will be able to have the vision in the area, they can feel more comfortable about it. So we'll see how long they decide to wait for an opportunity like that. They could decide to wait until they get a pick here. I mean, they have eyes on mid lane, but all of TongFu are pretty much congregated here, while maybe continues to do what he does. Split push on this Queen of Pain. Force them to kind of pull away and go away from that Roche area and from the mid lane.
If you show TongFu's vision right now, it's just a really scary situation to be in. So, I mean, they want to go for the smoke. They want to go find the Queen of Pain, but without their gem anymore, it's actually going to be very, very difficult.
Ooh, they try to make a go into Zhao Wei. He is forced away, but he can't get out fast enough and gets slowly shot down from Jin Q. A quick little support pick. It's been a rough life for Zhao Wei this game, but he's managed to throw together a somewhat respectable 6, 9, and 2. And while there's action on mid, Sylar begins to do a little bit of rat play here at the top lane. Someone's got to get back to this, so we'll see what TongFu decide to do. They push up mid a little bit, and looks like they'll step off.
A little bit of damage here, a little bit of damage there. Some Naga illusions in your neutrals, stealing your centaurs. That's how it goes.
Cross pass with Clockwork, and there's the call. Okay, preemptive dunk, but it doesn't matter. He's able to turn around and chop it. Come on, Yao. You got to make sure you put it through the hole. You can't rim it in and out like that. You got to get the dunk happening. So whatever, works out for him. They take down that Clockwork, so successful relocate. It doesn't look like that's enough to convince them to make a move into Roche quite yet, but LGD, is the longer this game goes, it feels like the more they're going to be comfortable. So I'm sure this is still just continues to be a win for them.
Yeah, even though as much as they fumbled in the early stages of the game, or I guess in the transition into the mid game, it looks like they've kind of found their groove now. They've got maybe constantly split pushing. Looks like he's even going to start transitioning just into right click items on this Queen of Pain. He's grabbed the Hyperstone, so probably the beginnings of an AC there for him. TongFu can buy another gem soon-ish. It's actually back in stock in a couple of seconds, so that's a pretty big milestone for them if they have any intention of trying to get out on the map and forcing anything. Roshan is an objective that neither team can really look all that closely at the moment, but could be something that potentially once maybe has a little bit more right-click damage can go in there with Yao, or if TongFu are feeling especially desperate, then they could maybe look towards it. But at the moment, it looks like they're still content to continue farming up their sniper, and Jinkyu is lead on net worth right now. So he's at least keeping the pace with the Radiance Naga.
He hits pretty hard, so We can't really count out TongFu. If the stars align and they just land that precious hole, they land that precious overgrowth, it could be disasterville for LGD. So we'll see if they find that opportunity, and it could come soon. They smoke and head towards the bottom, but it looks like LGD are already out the door.
They smoked under a ward. Yeah, they smoked under the dire ward, so they're not going to find anything.
Oh, that ward, huh? Wow, that was a pretty far forward ward. I mean, that's a pretty common spot for typically a ward to be at, so maybe they should have been a bit more conservative with where they decide to blaze it up. You can't really do it in public. People don't like that.
Yeah, and that's a lot of it coming back to the loss of the gem. If they had the gem, they would definitely scout the area. They'd definitely find the ward, and they might potentially find a kill there with the smoke. But at this stage, LGD are just controlling them so well, and LGD for the first time in a very long time actually all grouped up at the moment. So we'll see if this is going to be a potential play. And yeah, here comes the smoke.
Yeah, they smoke this time. Yep, it's certainly in the dark. So TongFu trying to maybe scout things out with their clockwork, but he just uses it to maybe have eyes on Roche. Could have been something that LGD were using the smoke for. We'll have to see. They're heading that way right now. Will they turn into the pit? Will they not? They're thinking about it. Let's go get some kills. Hell yeah. Okay, so they're going to go into TongFu territory, maybe go the wraparound route up and above the small camp and see if they can find anyone. And, ooh my, it's King J there, but they're not. They stopped off for some neutrals. So, oh. They are very close. Do they know? Nope, they're in the dark as far as TongFu goes. They're going to run into it. Oh, man, it's King J. Oh, of all the people to catch, there's going to go the Sonic Wave, and they get the Enigma down. He might need to consider buying back to turn this fight, but no, they do get the axe. Godlike for your sniper here. A Song of the Sirens forced to come out as maybe barely able to make a way. There is that buyback. Now Sylar, he's going to run up to the north, but right into U9. He's in trouble. They're going to drop the Midnight Pulse, and they just absolutely take out the Naga. It's TongFu who get the big turnaround. After Enigma goes down, they just continue to find their way to counterfight. And look at this! He sees MMY and just easily shoots him down. Like it's a carnival game. No big deal for Jin Q. What a farm sniper. And I thought LGD were well in control, but it looks like TongFu have some fight left in them.
I think that was a pretty big mistake from Sylar. I mean, I think maybe it was away anyway, so there was that, but he ran in and songed, but his boots of travel were already on cooldown. I think he boots of traveled into the fight and didn't leave himself any avenue of escape, so even if he had taken the bullet for Baby, he's worth way more. He's the one that stops this death ball of a push, and in comes TongFu right through the front door.
Yeah, and they, I believe, still have a black hole, so they feel pretty comfortable about forcing a fight here, knowing that LGD have already committed a lot, and they are going to lose the center X. Jin Q, very confident, blinks forward, muscles back the muscle man of X, and oh boy, look at this. And remember, coming into this matchup, LGD were like, what, 86% odds favorites? Look at TongFu, though. They're the team that's able to do the first real damage inside the base. And, oh, how convenient. A DD rune for Sniper. He'll take that to top and farm with it.
Yeah, and there's still tier 2 standing in the other lanes for LGD, so I think they're still in a decent position, but it just goes to show how quickly things can fall apart with just a couple of mistakes. That was LGD looking for that fight. They saw how many people were in the vicinity, but just once again they thought, oh, no problem, we can get the pick off. We can all get out safely, and well, turns out that was not the case.
Oh, no.
Joey wanted to come play some wards, but no.
LPC was tailing him. Now the jump through from Clockwork, not going to connect, but it gets him close to the fight. Zhao Wei will go down. He gets the cask off, but it just kind of delays the inevitable. So, yeah, like you said, Zhao Wei, he's just trying to keep the vision and the map presence out there, but TongFu are quick to punish, and it's them who take the advantage right back. I mean, they had a claim of over 5K net worth lead earlier, and they had accidentally let it slip back over to LGD, but they want to take back what's rightfully theirs, and they're feeling confident as ever. This is their time. They jump in. They get a big grab onto Yao. Yao trying to do some H's is in trouble. Overgrowth catches him. He goes up to the high ground and gets shot. Beyond godlike still. Jin Q on this sniper. 5K gold saved up. He is 15, 2, and 6.
Radiant's top tower.
They're
look at this, though.
relocating top.
Oh man, this is
The rat.
desperation rat mode right now. Glyph will be popped, and they don't even get a whole lot of damage on that tier 3. This is feeling like Plan B tactics coming out, and ooh, probably a narrow miss of that hook shot right there.
TongFu in the meantime going to open up another lane. Another tier 2 falls. Another potential lane of racks to be claimed if LGD make another big misstep.
Dire's bottom tower is under
This
attack.
is
Radiant's middle tower
pretty
is
crazy
under
here.
attack.
It's quite a while since we've seen the Naga play, and don't know the last time I got to see the bits of Naga meta go toe-to-toe with this new age of sniper troll axe, and I don't know, man. Sniper's looking pretty good, and I mean, would you credit that to just how strong and potent he is? Do you think LGD just didn't execute there at the end, and unfortunately let things get, too slipped up, and they handed over too much now to TongFu? Or
U9 gets jumped,
yeah.
silenced,
Okay.
does get dropped.
Okay.
Okay, maybe finding pickoffs.
All right, nice little pick on the side. Not too shabby there. It's just the Viper, but he does not have a buyback for 70 seconds. Okay.
Yeah. Going back to the question, I'm not sure if. Let's see. It's tough. I feel like Sylar hasn't been farming as quickly as I expected. Either that or the sniper is just getting a ridiculous amount of priority from his team. I think that is the case, because you can look at the net worth gap between him and say the Viper and realize that wherever Jinkyu goes, he's royalty right now. Every single creep is his. They're pooling all of the farm that they possibly can onto him, and somehow as a result he's keeping pace with this Naga Siren, who I think in theory should be, is one of the fastest farmers, if not the fastest farmer in the game, with a decent amount of farm, but still trailing a little bit behind the sniper right now. So I don't know. Personally, I'm not an expert on Naga Siren. I don't really play the hero, or at least not as a carry, and so I can't really comment necessarily 100% on his farming patterns or his illusion micro, but yeah, there's something to be said about the fact that the sniper is maintaining this #1 position on net worth.
Yeah, and you could say it like, I look at this and I'm like, something's not right here. You look at Naga's inventory, and in most games, she's usually up at the top of the net worth by a good margin because of how much she can take advantage with these illusions and stuff, but it's TongFu getting the most out of it, and it doesn't necessarily mean that's because snipers at the top maybe has been given the opportunity to farm more. He's been farming heroes as well. He's 15-2, so he's been bringing in serious bounties that maybe Queen of Pain had thrown together previously, and he just continues to get the best of all these quick last hits from the attack speed and serious damage he does. The rewards just keep coming on in, and he's happy to take all that he can. But yeah, LGD, it's pretty uncharacteristic like for their lineup right now. It seemed like it was going all according to plan. Their Queen of Pain was able to farm up very nicely, create the space for Naga, but somewhere, some way, it just kept going wrong. It just felt like LGD kept trying to find pickoffs and ganks, and it was TongFu that got more of the kills and had great counterfight, and their counterfighting is really proved to be very profitable for him. It's just a matter of now finding a way to put a lid on this game, because ending a game against a farm Naga could also be a challenge in itself. So we'll see how TongFu might be able to break the base. It could have to come after a big team fight like we saw previously.
The problem for LGD is that taking a big team fight is absurdly difficult. Even if they're even in a situation where, let's say, you give maybe and you give Sylar an extra 10k net worth each. So this is totally ridiculous and would never happen. But breaking base against TongFu is really hard. You're pushing into Sniper, you're pushing into Enigma, and at some point you can only starve people out so hard. And I don't think LGD can take a team fight at all. Their Queen of Pain has lots of damage, but there's just way too much lockdown.
Oh man, they spawn out Yao. Blink in Sheep and a hook shot to follow. That's supposed to be your meaty frontliner axe, but he looks like a flimsy little, peasant at that point. He just gets dropped so quick, and he does have buyback, but he's out for 50 seconds. So TongFu quickly cut this lane, but the lane is pushing pretty hard all the way through the bottom. It's Maybe who continues to do the split push, so The nice thing for LGD is
They have to
bottom
stop
and
these
top,
mid-creeps.
yeah, are
They have to
very
stop
pushed.
these mid creeps. Oh no! So they're in the base and now backdoor protection's off.
Oh,
They
well.
really needed to do whatever they could to disable those.
Ooh, long jump in onto Zhao Wade, and he's down immediately as Sylar was just trying to clear out those mid lane creeps. Q continues to pop up the shots from the low ground, doing as much damage as possible onto that tier 3, but now you see Axe back in action here. Did have to use the buyback. Assassinate flies out onto Yao, which does force him back, but look at this little bugger. Laughing away as he starts quickly shooting down this tier 3. Not much left in it. They'll be able to get it down soon enough in just a few more shots. It doesn't look like they're too worried about their other lanes. TongFu are happy to kind of stand strong right here and not leave until they get what they want. And there's another jump in from Clockwork, this time onto Yao. Forces out the song from Sylar so they can kind of regroup. But what's the game plan going to be here? Maybe looking to line up a shot here with the Sonic Wave, perhaps. BKB pop. They go on to Sniper. He's in a bad position, but there's the black hole, and immediately they lose the Queen of Pain. Now focus on the Sylar. If he goes down, it's going to be trouble. Double buybacks now force it out. This is the last hurrah for LGD, and they need to defend hard because they are losing the racks. The second set to go down. Sylar returns, splits out the Manta, Xiaowei just desperate to get off the death ward, but can't do it. They are finally able to bring down Jin Q. He buys back, gets boots of travel, and comes right back in. He wants to finish this game, and now they get the shots. Maybe out. 2 minutes. No buyback. Rampage for U9. Sylar able to sneak in a double kill, but he's going to go down, and that is game number 1 going for TongFu. Very impressive counter action play, and Jin Q's sniper. It's a beast, man. They did serious work to LGD there. That did not look like a 86-12 game to me.
They couldn't touch him. Sniper was just totally unapproachable. Even when they jumped in there, the immediate black hole was there at the ready just to prevent anyone from getting close enough to do damage, and Sniper got out of control. So as much as the lineup was really, really weird during the laning phase and they got bullied a lot by LGD, the strategy of protect Sniper, win game works out. So there you go. I don't know if LGD are going to have faith in the Naga-san. They're the one team that's kind of picking it. I mean, they're the only team that I've seen picking it recently, and I don't know, it just doesn't seem to quite match up against the current metagame.
Yeah, even LD was talking about it a bit yesterday when we were casting him. It seems like LGD are still persistent about their whole 4 protect 1 kind of a strategy, and I don't know. I don't want to say like they might need to consider conforming to what everyone else is getting on with this current meta, but they will definitely need to consider changing something up for game number 2 because it's match point right now for TongFu. They win this next one, and well, we're going to be in a bit of a sticky situation here for stage number 1 and going into the next playoff bracket. So we'll have to see how it goes, though. We got another match here coming up next. It's going to be game number 2 of TongFu versus LGD. I'm KotLGuy. That's Basskip, and we'll be back in just a moment with more action.
G2A.com, the best video game store ever! Fast as lightning, solid as a rock, cheap as duck! What's more, you can sell on it because it's also a marketplace. Remember, G2A.com, the best video game store ever!